Wrong one. G'day, folks. How you going? Hit the wrong one. We're getting there. All right. So I think the sound's all right now. I did notice last video some of it dropped out a bit, but anyway, I thought I'd try and see how we go. Hopefully it doesn't drop out because I was going to get a bit more serious with this video. So I'll roll up and join in a sec and we'll get started. But obviously today's topic is the changes happening there in Thailand. If you missed it. It's been going on for a while actually, but if you missed it, what's happened is the coalition over there is split, and the guys who were supporting medical cannabis and pushed it are the ones who've sort of walked on the government there because they disagree with other things that are going on. Something to do with the other party being too involved with Cambodia, I think is what's going on, and so they've walked. They've split the coalition over that. But because of that, that gives us our topic today, which is the what's happening there in Thailand. So it's 6 p.m. Friday. My name's Oz, and this is the Talking Shit Show for Oz Stoners. So if you haven't been to Thailand in the last few years, you might be missing out because back in 22, Thailand actually legalized, well, basically they went Amsterdam style on steroids a little bit, if you like. And what happened is you ended up with 6,000 plus dispensaries opening over between 2022 and now, and the industry just booming for Thailand. And of course, I'd say the corruption's dropped too because there was other things happening there before. I know cannabis cafes existed before, but they were paying off police basically. So I'm pretty sure those people would be the ones that would be supporting this government's turnaround that they're proposing. Now what happens is it's actually been passed, but it doesn't come into effect until the Thai government releases it to their government gazette, the Royal Gazette. And when it's released, it becomes law, and from that point on, they'll start enforcing these new laws. So I am reading from some notes here because I did do up a few notes there yesterday, or a couple of days ago actually, and added to it. But so basically, the health minister slammed on the brakes, and this is where we're at now. So in 2 years, Thailand grew from 0 to 6,000 dispensaries, like it's saying, and a $1.5 billion industry, Australian dollars that is, which is 35 billion. I don't have the note there. 35 billion baht, and more than 500,000 tourists. No cultivation license was needed. You basically needed to go and you just had to go register with your local health department, and it was a legal grey area, but away you went. So the size picket, grey zones, yep. So basically, they're closing the grey zone because the laws when they came in, they're much, it was for medical cannabis, and you're supposed to have a doctor in every dispensary is supposed to have a doctor there. Sorry, I can hear the dog whinging, and I've already let him out before we started all this. But anyway, I may have to pause for a moment if he keeps going. So obviously they're basically going to start enforcing that. Example, like I say, he was let out. But anyway, it boomed with more than $1.5 billion in trade, and which is currently happening. Obviously, that's recent figures. More than 500,000 tourists, including myself and many others that have been there. My partner is actually Thai, so I was visiting her family, but obviously when I went the last time, it crossed over, so that was fucking awesome, and a great bonus. Like I say, and I actually explored the ideas of of setting up over there, and that's where I did learn that you had to go to the health department, which we did do, my partner and I, and they try and actually steer you away from it and try to get you to grow carrots or some shit. I don't know. They were trying to do anything but the one lady we spoke to anyway. But at the end of the day, she said, basically you apply, or you let them know, I think it was, it's not a license, but you did have to register. Anyway, and once registered, you could then grow plants and stuff. So this is what they're probably closing. I mean, I hope for the Thai people, I hope not, because it's been a massive turnaround, and like you say, that's a lot of money in trade. Australia should take example and maybe open up more for recreational than the medical currently is, because I'm sure that they're making good money, but if we just stop treating cannabis so um, I don't know, so stupidly, I suppose, you know, it really is, isn't it? When we see what else is out there. I mean, I'm not going to say any negative things, because I don't, like the alcohol and that. I'm not going to compare it, because it's not a comparison, and I don't think alcohol should be banned. A lot of people trying to say alcohol should be banned, blah blah. No, it shouldn't be. What should be is that everything should be actually there, and the education and information around it should be readily available as well. People should be able to make their own decisions, because most of us aren't fucking morons or on a path of self-destruction. That really is only a minority of the general public, isn't it? If it was a majority, we'd fucked. The place would be fucking more of a mess than it is. So yeah, why the government flipped, like I was saying at the beginning there, the coalition actually has split. So, and you've also got public opinions, sort of asking for it to be reined in. I mean, there are laws that aren't, and nobody's following them when you go there, because people are lighting up and just smoking along the street and all this kind of stuff. That's all. You were never allowed to smoke in public places. You're not even allowed to smoke in most of the dispensaries, unless they have a specific room, which a lot of them don't. They make you go outside. Oh yeah, and you've also had doctors, same old story, citing youth psychosis and things like that. But I'd argue, and I'd bet my left nut that those figures are skewed, because you've got people who 100%, without a doubt, would not be admitting to having taken other drugs, right? Which is everything I've seen here myself. I've never seen anyone get psychosis from pure cannabis. I'm sure it fucking happens occasionally, right? Maybe, I don't know. But personally, I've never ever seen it. There's always been something else that this person's been into or doing, you know what I mean? Even if it was just fucking a bit of a piss head. Doesn't matter. There's always something else involved. I doubt very much it's to do with the cannabis, and as we all know, it's a predisposition. Can't say the word, but anyway, it's sort of it's there to come out. If it's there, it's going to come out in some way, and some drugs might help trigger that, or a mix of drugs more so, from what I've seen. But that's just personal opinion, talking shit. There's no Jordan. So let's see if I can say old mates. Ex-Health Minister Anutin's pro-weed party. Sorry, plus a spat with her. Yeah, okay. So yeah, the spat being, the falling out with the health minister. But anyway, same old story. You got people who aren't happy with it, but from what I saw there, most people didn't seem to have a problem with it. But I don't know. Maybe they're hearing different at the top. So what is the new order? Okay, so on the 25th of June, so what's that, yesterday? Well, no, 2 days ago now. That's when I was doing this. That's when the news broke, to be honest. It was coming up, and there was some stuff leading up in the last 2 days. But on the 24th, 25th there is where it all sort of exploded, because it went through Parliament. So they signed, the new order on the 25th that cannabis buds will become a controlled herb again. Sales only with a doctor's prescription. doctor script, so same as here. Um, I'm not sure if that's changed to their original thing. I do know that they had to have a doctor on site. That was part of the requirement for the dispensaries, all of them, and not all of them did, but I do know that there was a few. I won't mention brands actually, but yeah, there was a few that did have doctors, and some of them had multiple places. Those ones around the, they'll set up. They were ready for this. They knew this was going to happen, but it looks like they may have been going a little bit harder. So the doctor script, so that brings it much in line, to licensing. Vending machine sales are banned. I didn't actually see any vending machines, but I guess they're there. And I'm getting all your street sales and stuff like that would obviously be getting wiped out and banned as well. So yeah, it's much like our Schedule 8, but without the federal consistency. That's, I guess that's what happens with countries with large populations, and it's a little bit disorganised, I suppose, when you see the wires that are everywhere over there. Anyone who's been there knows what I'm talking about. It is fucking wild. It's just wires and wires everywhere. Okay. So what have we got? So yeah, they're basically going to start finding people and cracking down. I'd say there'd be more fines than anything. I don't think they're really going to have an interest in locking people up. That's not going to make money, but they may be looking at setting examples. But I'd say a lot of the dispensary owners, both local and ones that have come in with their partners or what have you, would be starting to worry a little bit and rethinking how they're going to operate. I mean, unless they've already got the doctor and they were sort of set for this. So basically dispensaries are all trying to get doctors in-house now as quick as they can, the ones who don't, which, shouldn't be too hard, really. I mean, if they were making money, they would be. I mean, it's definitely probably going to hurt a lot of your country places, which in my opinion were some of the best, and was where I had some of the best bud, actually, was out there in the country. I can't remember the name of his place either, but I've got some videos to share, which I will be sharing on Patreon from that trip. Everything on that trip got held up a bit, from troubles with Facebook to troubles with another fuckwit back here being funny with me about going to Thailand. So I kind of had to put everything on hold a bit until Facebook and stuff as well. But now that I'm decided to share to Patreon, I won't be sharing it to Facebook. So it won't cause any issues. Because I have shared it previously, the video, and the ones that I've shared and got taken down by Facebook to Patreon. But I've never shared them to Patreon, and I think I did share them to YouTube already. Might be there as shorts. Maybe I haven't done the full video. I'll have a look. So anyway, they're looking for their in-house doctors to get into the dispensary so they can keep operating legally and not have any issues with the Thai police and law. I don't know, because I'm not there personally, and I actually didn't get a chance to speak to someone over there. I did try to get a hold of them, but I wasn't able to between now and then, between Wednesday and now. But I'd like to know what it's like as a tourist now over there. Shouldn't be any different just yet, because I did look on the Thai Royal Gazette to see if they'd made any announcements since there the other day, and so far they have not. Because when they make the announcement on the Royal Gazette page, that's when they will, when it comes into effect. There's only been some stuff there about alcohol and things, so there's always something happening on this. But I can't see anything in the last 2 days there about the cannabis, so that's where you want to watch if you're in Thailand, or planning on going there for a cannabis trip, a dispensary crawl, as it were. Well, you might want to get there right now because in any day that's all going to change. The moment they post their update onto the Royal Gazette website here is the day that all changes. Believe me, I'm spewing. I can't get back over there. I haven't been able to go for 2 years ago now. It's not forgotten either. I can assure you. I should have been able to go again easily. Where are we? They're back to there. So yeah, you can expect fire sales. I reckon. I suppose you over there, people possibly anyway. The street vendors would be selling fast, I imagine. Yeah, and just black market's going to obviously pop back up over there, and I guess your corruption will come back again too, because it's not going to stop it, is it? It's just going to push things back underground again. But again, I do feel sorry for the Thai people that have made good. They've done the right thing. They've built businesses for this industry and grown some good weed too. Most of them that I've seen there. But I do hope the government pulls back on this. But the fact that the coalition split like that, and these guys moved straight away, pretty much because they were never on board with it. So they moved straight away to make this happen, and they split. There's been a personal difference with the ministers involved. Like I say, if you look further into it, Thailand and Cambodia, sort of having some little. They got some political differences going on there, and some border disputes as well, I believe, which has caused a lot of friction, especially when the government the prime minister has been speaking with the Cambodian prime minister. Apparently, I don't know. That's another article I read, but that's apparently what the other party is not happy about and why they stepped away. So they were, because of that, they basically prepared to let the cannabis industry get steamrolled by these guys. So I guess it's a pretty big point, unless it politics. It's like a schoolyard anywhere, I guess. So let's see what's going on. Okay, so I forgot that actually. So they passed the bill, and then the bill, or they've created the bill, which is what this is all about. And then that goes to Parliament in September. Category 5 narcotics relisting vote penciled for Q4 25. So last quarter, the last quarter of this year is when they're actually this will all happen. But that's when we should expect to see. So around September sometime, late August, September, we should see something posted. Hopefully not, but we'll see something posted on the Thai Royal Gazette there. So non-medical sales flipped from tolerated. So that's sort of what's been going on a bit there at the moment, which is much like Amsterdam. It's fucking great, to be honest. Like I say, I've told the story about when I got a lift on the back of the bike with a cop after smoking joints down and getting lost in the back of Bangkok there. But it was normal, and it was tolerated and being normal, which is, I guess, must be a lot like what Amsterdam is. I've never been. But yeah, they're about to sort of flip around, I guess. I'm guessing it'll be tolerated somewhere, some places. It'll all just depend on the local police and that, I guess, local governments, how hard they go. Non-medical sales flipped from tolerated jailworthy up through. Likely they're not going to be hanging again and stuff, apparently. Not they've done a lot of that, thank fuck, recently, or for cannabis. But yeah, they're it'll more like a decriminalised sort of area, I think, is what they're saying. So what's it mean for us? Well, that means that if you haven't been there and you're planning to go there, you better get the fuck over there right now. Because otherwise, like I was saying, that dispensary crawl that you were planning ain't going to happen. Overseas investors are probably reassessing things a little bit, but I do know some of them already knew that this would be coming into effect, and already had their doctors and things like that already had them in the dispensaries. I mean, that's the name of the game. You got to do it all right, and this was actually there before. They just had this grey area where it was tolerated, which is good too. But I guess, well, it's very much a political falling out thing going on. I think more than anything. I was going to say, people have spoken as well, but I think it's more that. So here's the thing, and what the rest of the world, not just Australia, but the rest of the world will be watching now, Thailand, to see this, the backflip, because the rest of the world was watching them with their legalization, the way that was, I mean, 6,000 plus dispensaries, $1.5 billion revenue industry in less than 3 years, and climbing. You know, so the rest of the world is watching Thailand now, and what happens there now, Thailand, it's all on you, because what happens there now is going to affect a lot of places that aren't like, well, not so much America maybe, but maybe federally. But it is going to affect places like UK, here, well, anywhere which is teetering, and debating the idea of, and does have certain levels of it, like Canberra. So Canberra, obviously, if Thailand rolls back, Canberra may think about rolling back, but it wasn't legalised in the same way. Yeah, so like previously said, keep an eye on that Royal Gazette. I'll drop a link in the YouTube and Patreon link comments for this video, and just keep an eye on it. You have to translate it to English, but when you see something there, you'll know it's coming into effect. Anyway, if you haven't already, hit like, subscribe, give us some comments on what you think, about the whole thing going on in Thailand and the changes there, and let me know if you've been, what you thought of it. If you're planning to go again, if you've got any business over there, drop us some comments, let us know on the YouTube or Patreon. So script sales, choked on my smoke. Script sales only now. Let's see what happens, eh? I mean, it could just be fear mongering, and from the government there. I mean, it's got to actually pass through still, so we'll see what happens. But I do believe it's pretty much given. If it gets posted on that, well, if it gets posted on the Royal Gazette, it's passed and done. Anyway, it's been great, people. I've got to run. It's 6:24. I'll be back tomorrow for the 9 p.m. shit show, talking shit show, and just a bit of a chill tomorrow. Won't be playing any more of that stupid fucking game. Well, me, it was stupid, but I can see why people might enjoy it. But I found it quite boring. Anyway, people, enjoy it. I will see you tomorrow.